For more, let's cross now to our reporter Abby Dinham in Melbourne. Good evening, Abby. Authorities are concerned at the speed by which this virus is spreading.
That's right, Janice. Very concerned. Just in the past 24 hours, the number of cases in this cluster has doubled. Victorian health authorities say this current variant moves about 5 times as fast as the COVID-19 variant we've been dealing with thus far. The acting Premier had to defend the work of his contact tracers when he was questioned as to how it spread so quickly. He said they couldn't have predicted the virus would move this fast.
Melbourne plunged back into lockdown for a 4th time as it tries to contain a COVID-19 variant moving at speeds unseen in Australia.
The usual transmission is about 5 to 6 days. In some of these cases, within a day, it's been transmitted.
For the 3rd day running, COVID testing queues were at capacity. 10 sites overwhelmed before lunchtime, others with a 5-hour waiting list.
This is our 2nd site this morning. I didn't know it was this long.
Over 40,000 tests conducted yesterday, the number of cases rising by 12. An elderly man today in intensive care. He's yet to receive his vaccination. 10,000 primary and secondary contacts identified, with a warning more will come.
Quite clear that there has been a super spreading event from one of the members of the current cluster, and particularly in that workplace.
Maybe if contact tracing had been better in the first place, it wouldn't have got to the 10,000.
Over 80 exposure sites are listed across Melbourne and regional Victoria, including the MCG and Marvel Stadium. The lockdown to be reviewed daily, but unlikely to be called off early.
Thousands of primary and secondary close contacts. They are individuals who've been exposed. Any one of them could become cases.
From midnight tonight, the lockdown means schools move to online. Masks must be worn indoors and out. Restaurants and cafes are takeaway only. No home visitors are permitted other than an intimate partner. Funerals are capped at 10 and weddings are banned. There are only 5 reasons to leave your home: care and caregiving, exercise, buying essentials, authorised work and education, or to get vaccinated.
Here we go again.
Melissa Glentis has stood down her staff with no government safety net in place this time around.
At the end of the day, the bottom line just is looking massively in the reds now.
There's no JobKeeper, there's no rent relief, there's no other support programs in place, as there were up until March of this year.
The latest outbreak has prompted the state government to expand its vaccine program. People aged over 40 are now eligible for Pfizer. The number of people calling up to request a dose rising significantly as the cluster has grown.
They've had about 70,000 calls in 15 minutes and it brought the system down. They had to reboot it because people are that desperate to get vaccinated.
With fears the speed at which the variant first detected in India is moving, Victoria sits on a knife's edge of a 3rd wave.
It's much more virulent and much easier to catch. So it's really important we do the right thing.
Melbourne now just hours away from the 7-day circuit breaker, a second lockdown in what was meant to be the year for COVID recovery.
The year for COVID recovery was the big hope, as you've just mentioned, Abby. So how have people reacted to this latest news?
Well, as the Victorian Health Minister said, we've been here before, we know what to do, but there has been some annoyance that people have become complacent after 3 months of 0 local transmissions.
Again, it's just another consequence of people not taking things seriously enough.
We just relax ourselves as soon as the number goes down. I think we have to be continuously cautious.
7 days is what they say now, but that could easily be extended as it has been in the past.
And so now it's just a case of wait and see, while the acting Premier said it might not be a 7-day lockdown. For those of us who've been here before, we hope it's just a 7-day lockdown.
Thanks so much, our reporter Abby Dinham reporting from Melbourne.